Hi everyone, I'm Miu from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make the Sweetbay rabbit box. It's made up of several parts. The box body, the lid, the divider and the accessories. Let's start with the box body. Crochet in rounds on the acrylic board. During the process, you'll need to add in the mesh board, and do some stuffing. Finally, sew and shape the piece. Before crocheting, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, our plus number stands for the round number. The column labeled Stitch Instructions shows the stitch patterns needed for crocheting this round, including any increases or decreases. The column labeled Total Stitches shows the total number of stitches after completing all the stitches in this round. The stitches used are X single crochet, K skipping a stitch, F front loop double crochet, V single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease, CH chain stitch, SL slip stitch. Now, let me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with round 1. Crochet into the chain space on the acrylic board. There is a protective film on both sides of the acrylic board. Peel off the protective film before crocheting. You can use a thin needle to help. Peel off the other side in the same way. Here, for easier viewing, I won't peel it off. Face any side of the acrylic board towards you. Take the corresponding yarn. The sample colors are random. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the product detail page and paper instructions. Place the yarn behind any hole on the acrylic board, any chain space. Leave a little yarn tail. Join the yarn. Pull the yarn to the edge of the acrylic board, to an even height. First, crochet 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. In actual crocheting in rounds, a turning chain is always made at the beginning. The turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. In the pattern chart, indicates a group. X number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Start with the first group. The starting indicates crocheting in the same stitch. First, make 3 single crochets in the current hole. Weave the yarn tails in together. Pay attention to stretching the loop to align with the edge. In the 2 holes on the left side, make 3 single crochets each. After completing, in the 2 holes on the left side, make 2 single crochets each. In the next 3 holes below, make 3 single crochets each. After completing, in the left hole, make 2 single crochets. First group is done. Continue using the same method for each group. Complete the remaining groups. After finishing, check the stitch count. The total number of stitches for each round is indicated in the chart. No further reminders will be given later. Finally, work 1 slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. The joining slip stitch at the end doesn't count as 1 stitch. Pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When crocheting in rounds, you always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the first round. We'll use the side with clearer texture as the right side. Now continue to crochet round 2. First, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. When crocheting in rounds, the beginning is always a single crochet. You always need to make 1 chain to start. I won't repeat this reminder later. Work 1 single crochet in the first single crochet of the previous round. This means inserting into the slip stitch position to crochet. Skip 2 stitches on the left side. Work 4 double crochets in the next stitch. After completing, work 4 double crochets in the next stitch. Continue with 4 double crochets in the adjacent stitch. Skip 2 stitches on the left side. Work 1 single crochet. Note that the stitch here might be covered. Don't miss it. One group is complete. Follow this method for the group. Complete the remaining groups. After finishing the last group, work 1 slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. Pull tight. Every round from now on should end with a slip stitch and pull tight. The second round is complete. Move on to the third round. This round needs to be crocheted on the wrong side. Slightly tighten the beginning chain. Turn means to flip the work. Turn the work counterclockwise. Work into the corresponding stitch on the left side. Which is the last stitch of the previous round? Work 1 slip stitch. Pay attention that on the wrong side, the stitch is located at the top left. Pay attention to work the slip stitch normally here. Don't tighten it. This is the first stitch of this round. If you're worried about losing your spot, you can mark it with a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or a paperclip instead. Continue working into the left stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. If your hands are tight, you can slightly stretch the loop before crocheting to make it easier for the following stitches. This round is worked into the stitches from the previous round. Work a slip stitch into each stitch correspondingly. Follow this method and complete this round. The last slip stitch is worked into the first stitch of the previous round. From the right side, you can see it's the insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round. Once completed, pick up the braid of the first slip stitch. Work into the braid of the slip stitch. Join with a slip stitch. This completes the third round. Continue to crochet the fourth round. This round is crocheted on the right side. Turn counterclockwise. Check the fabric before crocheting. You'll see 2 rounds of braids. The front loop is the stitch from round 2. And the back loop is the braid of the slip stitch. This round needs to be worked into the braid of the slip stitch. Don't make a mistake. Hook the braid of the first slip stitch on the left side. Which is the last slip stitch from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet. There are 2 small braids here. One is the beginning chain, and the other is the slip stitch from the previous round. Mindful not to hook the wrong position. Then continue to pick the braid of the slip stitch, and correspondingly make 3 single crochets. You can see the braid texture on the right side of the fabric like this. Continue to pick the braid of the slip stitch on the left side, and make a single crochet increase. That is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Single crochet increase completed. Continue with a single crochet increase. followed by 4 single crochets. One group completed. Repeat this crochet method for the entire round. Work all the way around to finish this round. Once completed, join with a slip stitch on the first stitch to finish. Round 4 completed. The fabric surface forms a round of braid texture like this. Now crochet round 5. Work even, which means one stitch to another. Pick up the stitches from the previous round, correspondingly make single crochets. Finish this round. Pay attention to the slip stitch position, don't miss this stitch. Finally, join with a slip stitch to finish. Round 5 completed. Move on to round 6. Chain 3 as the beginning chain for double crochet. Count it as 1 double crochet. Work into the single crochet at the slip stitch position. Then start from the left stitch below. Work double crochets correspondingly into each stitch. Finish this round. Finally, on the beginning chain, pick up the top 2 strands of the chain stitch. Join with a slip stitch to finish. For the following round, starting with a double crochet, use the same method to join with a slip stitch. Round 6 completed. Continue to crochet round 7. Use the same method as round 5. Work the first single crochet into the beginning chain of the previous round. Insert the hook at the slip stitch position and crochet. Then pick up the stitches and work single crochets accordingly. The stitches on the left side may pucker slightly, so don't skip them. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 7 completed. For round 8, use the same method as round 6. Rounds 9 to 15 are crocheted in the same way as rounds 5 to 6, repeating the sequence. Please refer to the chart and complete them. Now I'll demonstrate round 16 using a swatch. This round requires decreasing stitches, since everyone's tension is different. The fabric texture may have varying degrees of slant. You may need to adjust the positions where you decrease. Tidy up the fabric. Locate the group of stitches from round 2. the 4 stitches in the very middle. Find the corresponding 4 single crochet stitches straight above. Place a marker on the 1 stitch on the right side. Then work single crochets. When you reach the marked position, work 1 single crochet decrease. First, pick up the front loop of the left stitch, which is the strand of the stitch closest to you. Then insert into the front loop of the adjacent stitch. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Single crochet decrease completed. This method of picking up only the front loops for the decrease is called an invisible decrease. Crocheting with this technique makes the fabric more delicate overall. Continue with 1 single crochet decrease. First, pick up the front loops of the next 2 stitches on the left side one by one. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Single crochet decrease completed. Continue with 8 single crochets. Then work 2 single crochet decreases. Following this method of a 10-stitch group, continue crocheting in sequence. When only a few stitches remain, work that many single crochets. Complete the group by matching the beginning stitches. Join with a slip stitch to finish. Round 16 completed. Continue with round 17. First, work single crochets corresponding to each stitch. When 1 stitch remains before the decrease, work 2 single crochet decreases correspondingly. Then, continue working with a 2 single crochet decrease every 6 single crochets apart. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 17 completed. Now work round 18. This round requires picking up the back loop only for crocheting. Start by inserting the hook into the slip stitch position of the first stitch, corresponding to this back loop. Which is the strand of the stitch that's away from you? Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up the back loops and work single crochets correspondingly. Complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 18 completed. Next is round 19. The technique is similar to round 6. Go ahead and complete it. Next is round 20. Crochet following the method of round 19. Pay attention that the starting chain corresponds to the chain below. Begin with the left stitch and work double crochets. Avoid extra or missing stitches. For the following rounds, continue crocheting in rounds using the method of round 20. Once the final round is completed, fold it inward along the small horizontal bar. Tidy up the fabric. The final round should roughly reach the position of the acrylic plate. If it's too long, or too short, adjust your tension and recrochet the last few rounds. Finally, cut the yarn. Secure with one chain stitch. Enlarge the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 80 cm before cutting the yarn. Pull it tight. That's all for the crocheted section. Next, make the grid board. Take out the grid board. Refer to the chart for marking. Mark the grids that are roughly the same circumference as the acrylic plate. The beginning and ending should overlap by 2 grids. Cut off the excess part. Trim the edges as flat as possible. Then refer to the height of the fabric. Mark the height on the grid board. When marking, you can add 1 or 2 extra grids compared to the fabric height. Cut out the marked section. Once the grid board is cut, place it inside to test. Adjust the height based on the actual fit. Trim off the extra grids. Tidy up the fabric neatly. Once you've confirmed the height fits properly, sew the beginning and ending overlapping sections together. Try to match the circumference of the acrylic edge. Cut a yarn tail and thread it through the sewing needle. The yarn end can be tied with a knot. For this part, there's no requirement for the right or wrong side of the grid board. There's no specific sewing method required. Just make sure it's securely fastened. Remember to pull it tight. Finally, tie a knot and cut the yarn. Place it inside the fabric. Match the stitch position of the first round. Now secure the grid board to the fabric. Take the thread the same way as sewing the grid board. Find the second round. 2 groups of adjacent single crochets. Which is right here. The corresponding position on the 4th round above. And the middle position of the consecutive single crochets on round 16. There are 8 single crochet stitches here. Find the middle 2 stitches. In the middle between these 2 points, secure vertically to the grid board. Make sure the horizontal bar aligns with the top edge of the grid board. The last few rounds won't be sewn in. Find the exact center position. Secure it to the grid board. Try to sew within the single crochet round. Keep the marks on the right side as invisible as possible. This position is now secured. Finally tie off and weave in the ends inside. This part might be a bit tricky to sew. You'll need some patience. Trim off the excess yarn tails. For other similar indentations, sew them using the same method. Pay attention to count the number of grid squares on the board. Try to distribute evenly. Make sure the sewing positions are evenly spaced. Go ahead and finish it. Once everything is done, the grid board is now sewn together. The fabric forms this shape. Stuff the gap between the grid board and the fabric. Try to make it firm and even. Shape the whole piece into a mooncake shape. Try to make the gaps look neat. Don't stuff them too tight. Keep some softness. Continue stuffing all the gaps. Once the stuffing is done, thread the reserved yarn tail from the fabric into the sewing needle. Position the fabric close to the grid board. Pick up the stitches from the last round, matching the stitches from the first round. Sew them together correspondingly. Remember to pull the yarn tight. There's no specific sewing method required here. As long as it's securely sewn, and the surface texture looks neat, pay attention to pull the needle out underneath the grid board. Don't sew into the grid board itself. Once everything is done, tie off and weave in the ends. This way the grid board is securely attached. And the stuffing is also completed. The box body is now finished. Next, let's work on the lid. It's made of two parts, the acrylic board and a motif. First, crochet one round around the acrylic board, using a similar crochet method as the first round of the box body, just with a different number of stitches. Finally, leave a 5 cm yarn tail and break the yarn. Please refer to the previous demonstration to complete it. Once the crocheting on the acrylic board is done, move on to crochet the motif. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Crochet together with the acrylic board during the process. When crocheting, remember to keep the stitches slightly tighter. There are quite a few new stitch techniques used. The diagrams have all the details labeled, so I won't list them all here. Please watch my demonstration for the specific crochet method. First, start with a magic ring. Begin by making a slip knot. Then work 3 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the front loop only of the first chain stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. And the foundation is complete. Continue with the first round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain, which counts as 1 double crochet. Work 11 double crochets into the foundation ring. Tighten all the yarn tails together. Finish by joining with a slip stitch to the top of the turning chain. The first round is complete. We'll consider the side with clearer texture as the right side. Any remaining yarn tails can be trimmed off. Now move on to round 2. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Work 1 special double crochet increase into the slip stitch position below. Complete 1 special double crochet increase. Make 1 double crochet increase on the left stitch, which means working 2 double crochets into the same stitch. The double crochet increase is completed. Continue making double crochet increases correspondingly. Work through the entire round. Finish by joining with a slip stitch. Round 2 is complete. Now move on to round 3. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet into the beginning chain. Make 1 single crochet into the left stitch. Then insert your hook into the slip stitch position of the first round. From the top left, pick up these 2 threads. Work 1 double crochet. You can slightly enlarge the loop. We'll consider the stitches worked after the beginning chain as one group. Continue by working another group. First, work 2 single crochets into the double crochet increase of the previous round. Then at the insertion point of the double crochet increase, pick up both threads of the stitch. Work 1 double crochet. The second group is complete. Continue with this same technique for each group. Refer to the chart and complete this round. Finish by joining with a slip stitch into the starting stitch. The third round is complete. Continue to the fourth round. Chain 1 to begin. Insert the hook into the back loop of the next stitch and work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 overlapping single crochet. Insert the hook into the insertion point of the left single crochet stitch. Pull the yarn through. Slightly enlarge the loop. Yarn over and draw through in once. The overlapping single crochet is complete. Continue by picking up the back loops of the 2 stitches on the left. Correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Then insert the hook into the insertion point of the left single crochet stitch. Work 1 overlapping single crochet. Remember to enlarge the loop. We'll treat these 3 stitches as one group. Repeat this group's technique. Complete this round. Once the last single crochet is done, finish with a slip stitch. Round 4 is complete. Now move on to round 5. Make 1 beginning chain to start. The round begins with a single crochet. Make 1 beginning chain each round. We won't remind you about this in the following steps. Pick up the stitch and work 3 single crochets. Next, locate the corresponding double crochet from the third round underneath. That's the slightly raised stitch. Pick up the remaining half stitch, and work 1 DC3 bobble. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over. Insert into the corresponding double crochet the half stitch remaining in the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. First stitch completed. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over. Insert into the same stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. Second stitch completed. Continue and make 1 more stitch. Final yarn over, draw through in once. 1 DC3 bobble stitch is done. We'll treat these 4 stitches as a group. I'll demonstrate another group. First, make 3 single crochets. No skipped stitches behind. Pick up the half stitch from the third round's double crochet below. Make 1 DC3 bobble stitch. First, make 3 incomplete double crochets. Final yarn over and draw through in once. DC3 bobble stitch completed. Second group completed. Repeat this group's technique. Finish this round. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch on the starting stitch to finish. Round 5 completed. Continue to crochet round 6. First, start into the middle stitch of these 3 single crochets. Insert the hook at the insertion position, and make 1 overlapping single crochet. Transition with 6 chains. Into the middle stitch of the next 3 single crochets. Insert the hook at the insertion position. Make 1 overlapping single crochet. Continue picking these positions to crochet overlapping single crochets. Both left and right are transitions with 6 chains. Finish this round. Join with a slip stitch on the starting overlapping single crochet stitch to finish. Round 6 completed. Move on to crochet round 7. First, find the overlapping single crochet from the previous round that wraps around this single crochet. Pick up this stitch from the right side. Work one slip stitch for transition. Pay attention that the stitch technique from the previous round is positioned in front. Insert into this stitch from behind. Gently tighten. Then, in the same position, work a special DC 2-in-1. Next, correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets into the 3 skipped stitches from round 5. Chain loop pressed to the front. Continue picking the overlapping single crochets from the previous round. The single crochet wrapped around this stitch. Work 1 DC 2-in-1. The 3 skipped stitch positions in the same round. Correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets. Repeat this process. Follow the chart to finish this round. End with a slip stitch. The 7th round is completed. Next, work the 8th round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Start from the left stitch. Correspondingly crochet 2 double crochets. 1 DC 2-in-1. Work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Pay attention. Simultaneously insert the hook into the 4th chain of the chain loop from round 6. Pick up about 2 strands and crochet them together. Continue picking up stitches, and work 3 double crochets. One DC 2-in-1. Next double crochet, pay attention. Insert into the chain loop underneath, and crochet together. Repeat this process. Refer to the chart and finish this round. Join with a slip stitch at the end. Round 8 is completed. Now move on to round 9. First, work 1 single crochet into the starting chain of the previous round. Then, locate this starting chain. Find the corresponding starting chain from round 7 underneath. Work 1 front post double crochet, FPDC. Yarn over once. Pick up this starting chain from right to left in front. Work 1 double crochet. Mindful to slightly enlarge the loop. The height should match the right side after completion. The front post double crochet is done. Continue working on the left side double crochet of round 7. Work 1 front post double crochet, FPDC. Yarn over, pick up this double crochet from right to left in front. Work 1 double crochet. The front post double crochet is done. Continue with 1 front post double crochet, FPDC, on the adjacent double crochet. Skip 2 stitches at the back. Correspondingly work 4 single crochets. Continue at the insertion position of the last single crochet, the corresponding spot underneath on round 7. This double crochet increase, and on the left side double crochet, correspondingly work 3 front post double crochets. Pay attention to find the correct position for the first stitch. Don't make a mistake. Continue by skipping 2 stitches at the back. From this double crochet increase position, correspondingly work 4 single crochets. Continue crocheting downward following the method of these 7 stitches. Finish with a slip stitch. The 9th round is completed. Continue with the 10th round. First, on the left side at the 2 front post double crochet stitches, work 2 slip stitches for transition. No need to tighten. At the last insertion position, work 1 single crochet. Chain 7. At the middle stitch of the next group of front post double crochets, work 1 single crochet. Chain 7. Following this method, finish this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch to end. The 10th round is completed. Now work on the 11th round. Work 1/2 double crochet in the left chain space. 7 double crochets. And 1/2 double crochet. Then pick the spaces behind. Crochet this group of stitches. Finish this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch at the starting half double crochet stitch to end. The 11th round is completed. Now move on to the 12th round. First, pick up the slip stitch position below and work 1 single crochet. Then pick up the corresponding stitch and work 1 half double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 DC 2 in 1, 2 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, and 1 single crochet. Then work on this group of stitches behind. Crochet using the same method. Refer to the chart and finish this round. End with a slip stitch. Take out the crocheted acrylic board and fit it for comparison. The motif can be slightly smaller than the acrylic board. It will look better when tightened. If there's a big difference, adjust your tension and recrochet the last few rounds to avoid affecting the appearance of the finished product. The 12th round is completed. Now work round 13. Take out the crocheted acrylic board with the wrong side of the motif facing the board. Pick up a round of stitches, matching the stitches on the acrylic board, and correspondingly make single crochets. When crocheting into the single crochets, you can keep it slightly loose. Weave in the yarn tails together. Try to keep the fabric edge smooth and round for a better look. Continue with 1 single crochet in each stitch. Complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 13 is done. Finally, work round 14. Start with 1 single crochet, then correspondingly make 1 half double crochet, followed by 3 double crochets. Then work 1 treble crochet at the same insertion point below. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pass through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Treble crochet is complete. Then on the left stitch, work another treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Treble crochet is complete. Work 1 double crochet in the same insertion position. Continue to pick up stitches, and work 2 double crochets corresponding. One half double crochet. One single crochet. We count the stitches after the beginning chain as a group. Repeat this sequence in the following rounds. Complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Do not tighten. Stretch the loop, leave a 10 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Now we will finish the work. From the left stitch of the slip stitch insertion position, pull the yarn to the wrong side. Then through the middle of the chain where the yarn tail is, crochet to the wrong side. Adjust it a little. Finish like this. The slip stitch mark won't be visible on the surface. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. You can weave in a few more stitches. Trim the excess yarn tail. This completes the box lid.